Good morning, guys. I just wanted to come in and just do like a really quick life update. I do apologize about the lighting. I have natural lighting from the window in front of me. I have bedroom lighting, and I'm using my phone to record, so it is what it is today. And my hair is crazy and my makeup is bad, but you know what? That's just life sometimes. So, I actually already started to record this video and I didn't want to do any edits, so I hated it and I deleted it because it was getting way too long. I was going way too in depth with stuff, and yeah, it was just too much. So take two. Hopefully this is the good one. Basically, I can do a background on how we got here in another video if you guys actually want a more detailed background. I think that was why the last video was getting so long, was because I was trying to explain too much. So our current life update is where we thought, okay, we are living in Minnesota in my in-laws' house, so my husband's parents' house, in his old bedroom. And it is March of 2019. We've been here since August of 2018, and we were told by the Coast Guard originally that it was going to be mid to late spring before my husband had a boot camp date. But a couple weeks ago, when he was talking with the recruiter, because he does his monthly check-in, because when you live in Duluth, Minnesota, your recruiter is actually in Chicago, Illinois. So he doesn't physically go and check in and do a fitness test. He has to do like a monthly phone check-in and send video proof of what he's doing, as far as like physical workouts, and is he still able to keep up with the standards that are required to go into boot camp. Before he actually goes to boot camp, I do think that they're gonna fly him out, to Chicago one more time to do it, to do the physical fitness stuff in person one more time, but I'm not 100% on that. But he was doing his monthly check-in and was asking some questions because it was getting close, it's March. So he was asking about, that boot camp date and what we should be expecting as far as what's going to happen, like, afterwards, because, we weren't sure, like, exactly how quickly things were going to progress. Like, with the Navy, when he was doing that after boot camp, he was literally flown straight to his next destination. So we weren't sure if the Coast Guard did the same thing, if they were going to basically, like, he graduates boot camp and then he's at an airport waiting on a plane to take him to California, where the schooling is for his job rank that he's picked, or what. So we were just, asking some basic questions about that. And if any of you guys are in the Coast Guard, or have husbands in the Coast Guard, or wives in the Coast Guard, and you know more information on this, like, totally let me know down below, like, any information that you have as far as, like, anything, or feel free to, like, message me, because I would love to have information. I like to be as informed as possible. But yeah, anyways. And the recruiter told him, oh, we still have a wait list because of the government shutdown that happened. Everything kind of got pushed back even further, so now you're looking at probably early summer before you even get a boot camp date, which sucks, because one, that means that we'll be here, living here for a year at that point, which by no means is that like a bad reflection on my in-laws. Like, I love them, I love this house, I love living with them. It definitely can be hard to be two different adult couples living in one house, like, not because it's us and them, but just in general. Like, I know that can be difficult. Again, I can touch more on things like living with in-laws or sharing a house, things like that, in the future videos, because I am going to try to actually keep up with videos on this channel. I know I say that every time and then I never do. But yeah, so now we're looking at early summer for getting a boot camp date. But again, we're not sure if what she means is literally getting a date for boot camp, because we thought that we were supposed to be told 60 days before you go to boot camp. At least that's how it was with the Navy, that he had a 60-day notice of like, all right, here's when you're going to boot camp, like get your life together, be prepared. Or if early summer is going to be when his boot camp is, so then within the next, you know, couple weeks to couple months, we would have a specific date so that we would have that 60 days, if that's how the Coast Guard does it. I mean, we're not really too sure. She really wasn't too specific. She probably doesn't honestly know, which is fine. Like, I don't blame her for that. When you're just a recruiter at the office, I don't think that you really get told that much. But yeah, so, you know, with all that going on, my husband is still basically, just playing the waiting game, really. I mean, he, is working right now with his dad, and, I'm working, but it's, you know, really just placeholders right now. Like, honestly, it's placeholders for what's to come. And his job does know that he'll be leaving at some point. He actually told them that it was pushed further back, and they were really excited that he was going to get to stay longer, which is nice. I am not really happy with, like, I guess, I don't want to say where I am in life, because that sounds really bad, but, like, I want to move forward, and, like, you know, this is his career step. Like, he's gonna do this, be in for 16 years, because he's already done 4 years, so then he'll have a total of 20 in the military, and he can retire, and, you know, that'll be amazing, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with my life. Like, and that sounds so bad, especially being 26 years old, and it just, like, the way that people, I don't want to say look at you when you say stuff like that, but kind of. I don't know. Like, I've had career type jobs, but they're not the career for me. Like, I don't want to be in retail forever. You know, even as store management, I don't want to do that forever. Like, that is, it wears you out so bad. You have such a not good schedule as far as, like, trying to plan, like, family time or events or being home when my husband is home, because with military life, that can be really important. And that can be really, really difficult with working, not all retail, I'm not saying everywhere, but the places that I've worked, especially in upper management, when you have to be the one to cover things, you know, there was a time when I was working like 60 hours a week. Like, that's crazy, you know? It can be really difficult to do, and it really wears me down. I'm just one of those people, like, I don't know. I don't know what I need. I think that's the problem. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's so difficult because right now, like, you know, again, we thought early spring that he was going to be going to boot camp. So that would be 2 months. And then we would be moving to Northern California, where the school for his job rank that he's picked is. And he would need to do 2 months of schooling. We know that we're probably going to have to wait for that, so we'll probably be there more than 2 months. But, you know, that was basically the next steps. And we, you know, already decided I wasn't going to work while we were there, because we don't know what his classes are going to be like. And it would just be better after the 2 months of him being gone and then 2 months of him doing schooling, plus whatever other time that we're there, for me to just basically be able to spend that time with him. And take care of the house, take care of our dog, and, you know, whatever. Like, it doesn't make sense to try to get a job for 2 months, you know, unless I was going to transfer. But even then, like, you know, that was just our plan. And then wherever we go from there, depending on how long we're going to be there, where we're at, you know, look at things from there. You know, I have no problem working. My husband has no problem if I don't work. It's not like that kind of conflict or anything like that. And I don't care either way. No shame on people who don't work or who do work, but it's just the way that we're trying to figure it out. It's really, It's been difficult for me, I would say, because with this whole thing, it's basically like my entire life is on pause right now. Like, I'm just waiting for his career to pick up so that I can figure out what I'm gonna do and then start to pursue that. I can't do anything. I can't start anything. I can't figure anything out. I can't go to school, you know, because we're gonna be moving. It gets very difficult. And like, I think that's why I'm so, you know, no judgment on those women whose husbands are in, or anybody who doesn't work, you know, no judgment on you. But when your spouse is in the military and then you stay home, like a lot of times I don't want to be the person that's like, oh, it's because it's a full-time job being a military spouse, you know, which it can be, don't get me wrong. I'm not like shaming you either. I'm just saying like, that's not my aspect. It's just like, it's so difficult to try to just, I keep picking up my life and putting it down and picking it up and putting it down and picking it up and putting it down and putting it on pause and playing and trying to figure things out. And then I start something and then I have to stop something, and I just can't figure anything out that's going to work for me and the lifestyle. And like, it can just be really difficult. And I know people are gonna be like, why don't you just go to school online or this or that? I'm like, I get that. I get it. I hear ya. But my husband wants me to use his GI Bill to go to school. So we have to wait. And he also wants me to go to school for something like being a lawyer or a doctor or like whatever, you know, something like that. I really use, you know, my head, my brain. Because he always tells me like, oh, you're one of the smartest people I know. And you know, like, I'm not trying to say that like, oh, I'm so smart, I could do anything, because I think that anybody can do anything that they put their mind to. Like, I don't mean it like that. I just mean that what he has in mind for how he wants to spend the money that he earned, mind you, for me to use. And I'm like, oh, I could probably do like cosmetology or something like that. And I know so many of you are gonna be like, oh, typical white girl. I get it. But I do love doing hair and makeup. I'm not really great at makeup, but I am decent at hair. I know it doesn't look like it today because my hair is crazy. But just so you know, all I did was get dressed. I didn't do anything to all this. This is leftover from yesterday. That's why it's crazy. But I don't know. It's just, and it's difficult because I feel personally like I have to be so careful what I pick, because his job is already going to require so much time. His career, being in the military, requires a lot of time away, a lot of time spent at work. So when he's home, I want to be able to be with him. I want to be able to be where he is and spend time with him and enjoy that time. But I'm also someone who like wants to be able to do my own thing. Like, I want to have something that I can like be proud of, that I say that I do, or, you know, like be able to spend my time doing. It's really difficult to find things to pass time when he's gone if I'm not, like, if I don't have something to devote my time to. And I just feel like it's really difficult to find something that doesn't require so much time. Like being a lawyer, you know, that requires, I don't want to say requires, but there's a lot of times where people have late nights or they spend a lot of time working on stuff. They're just so devoted to things, which can be really good on times when he's away, but what about when he's home, you know? Or like, I wouldn't mind being like a nurse in like an emergency room, because that would be like fast paced and, you know, again, it's not like I've done these things. I don't know. But that would just require like so much time, so much, you know? And then I hear a lot of people that I know who have done or are doing cosmetology, and I say have done because a lot of people that I know that have done it have given it up, because they're like, in order to make any money, you have to either get good enough to open your own store, or you have to like really find someone like who owns their own store that you can work for. Like franchises, you really don't make that much money unless you like work all day, all the time. You pay to rent your booth. Like, there's a lot of ins and outs of things, and I just, you know, it's hard to like find something that's gonna give me that balance of something that I can do that I feel like I'm contributing to the household, that I'm spending my time doing, but I'm proud to do it, or I don't feel like ashamed when people ask me what I do, and that I can still spend time with him. Like, it can just be really difficult. If any of you guys have suggestions, like especially if you are a military spouse, I mean, anybody, there's lots of jobs out there that take a lot of time. Your husband could be a surgeon, and, you know, or your wife, your spouse could be a surgeon, and maybe they have a lot of time spent at the hospital, you know, like, leave suggestions on things that, you know. And again, it's not like I'm ashamed to say, you know, if I was a stay-at-home wife, you know, like, that's not something that I'm like, ooh, I would be ashamed to say that. I don't mean it like that, but I just would have a harder time feeling like I was, you know, and not that you're not contributing, but I would have a harder time. It would actually be a lot easier to do that when we're living in our own place again, because then it would be up to me to clean things, to take care of things, to make food. Right now, living with in-laws, there is a very different situation, so that's definitely something that we could look at in the future as far as, like, just being a stay-at-home person. That's definitely something that we've talked about. And we do want to have kids, and I want to be, or at least a kid, and I want to be home with the kid when they're young. But again, that's not the now. That's not what we're doing now. So in the now, I'm basically just doing something to pass the time. I feel very much like my life is just on pause, and we're basically just waiting on the Coast Guard. So that is kind of my quick life update, which wasn't very quick. I do apologize. It is definitely shorter than the video that I recorded before this, though. So you're welcome on that. If you guys want more in depth on anything, like background of how we got to where we are now, because I didn't post any of those videos, I basically just deleted everything, or more information on, you know, anything else, I definitely can give you guys that if that's something that you're wanting. I'm gonna try to start doing more videos. I think that's one of the things that I want, as far as like something that I can do for me, that's different, that will help kind of pass the time, be a placeholder. I definitely have wanted to get into, I don't want to say like being a YouTuber, because I don't have fancy equipment and all that stuff, and I'm not good at editing or anything like that. I don't expect to make like a full living off of this by any means, but to be able to just put myself out there, talk to people who might be going through something similar or have been through it, kind of make like a small community. I know that there are a bunch of like military wife, military life, or military spouse type videos out there. I have watched a bunch of them. Sometimes I feel like it's not super relatable, for me personally, based on the lifestyle, or personally, again, no shame, it's people who are like really, really young. Not that 26 is old by any means, I don't mean like that, but it's like they haven't quite hit that, like, where they start to panic about what they're gonna do with their life yet, because they're in their like early 20s, and it's sort of like they're still on cruise control, which, not that that's everybody, again, I don't mean this to be rude in any way, but it doesn't feel relatable for me personally. And then there's some that I like love. I love some, but a lot of these people don't have a lot of time, so they don't post a lot. So then, you know, but yeah, I'm gonna go before this video gets any longer. Any of you who are still here, you deserve a prize, like a gold star or a cookie. Go get yourself a coffee. Yeah. That is basically where we're at right now. So any comments, suggestions, thoughts, you know, share it with me down below. Yeah, weird, but I have nothing else to say, or I do, but I don't want to make this any longer. So I love you guys, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time, which hopefully will be soon, instead of like a couple months from now when I decide to finally post a video. And I know this video is terrible quality, but I don't feel like editing it because I suck at editing. So bye guys.